Now, first of all, our next production will be punctuality. That's the next play. That's on May 21st. It's a very children all over the world. I want to ask you, please, to be very quiet, not to be asked to really quite anxious about it. So no singing or dancing, please. So I will sing.
Studio engineer to Studio 1, please. Hurry up.
Is it the light again? Right. I'll go and get me ladders.
sound effects. Have you seen my sound effects?
Morning, Ken.
Is it? Some of my sound effects have disappeared.
Oh dear.
They were here last night, before I left. They were definitely here.
Have you looked in Studio 2?
Well, I suppose I can go and look for them. But this shouldn't go on. This is an absolute shambles. I'm just about sick and fed up with it.
The toilet key! The toilet key. Have you seen the toilet? No, it's not there. Oh! Why is it there? And why do we have to keep it locked up anyway?
What a night.
Can someone send a cup of very strong black coffee, Studio 1, please? Immediately. Send the black coffee to Studio 1 immediately, please.
Morning, campers.
Morning, Ronald. Hi, Ronald.
All good, my lovelies?
Well, not exactly.
Morning, sweetness. Where's Her Majesty? Is she here yet?
Who?
Deirdre, Her Royal, I'm sorry I'm late, miss.
Not yet.
Cutting it a bit fine, isn't she?
She is. So professional. And she makes it look bad for all of us. He needs to say something.
Nearly ready to go live, team. Quick run through. Millie, you're reading the waiter. Microphone 2. Going down. You're reading Jack. Microphone
Jack.
Okay, everybody, microphones live. 5, 4, 3.
Are you sitting comfortably wherever you are?
Hello there, children. It's children's story time again. Did you hear Uncle Malcolm asking if you were sitting comfortably wherever you are? Well, are you sitting comfortably? Are you? And are you ready for today's story? Do you know what it is? It's the story of a magic bean plant and a giant. Yes, that's right. It's the story of Jack and the Beanstalk. Do you know where we are today, children? We're in the kitchen of the little cottage where Jack lives with his mummy. Jack is very hungry.
I'm very hungry, Mummy.
Oh, listen, children. Jack is telling his mummy again that he's very hungry.
Did you hear me, Mummy? I said I'm very hungry.
It sounds as though Jack is very hungry, children. I wonder what he'll do, because there is no food in the cupboard.
Of course you're hungry, Jack, darling. I'm very hungry too. We haven't eaten for 3 days.
Why haven't we eaten, Mummy?
Because we haven't got any money for food. There's only one thing we can do.
What is the only one thing we can do, Mummy?
We're going to have to sell our prized possession.
Our prized possession?
Yes, we're going to have to sell Daisy.
Not Daisy, surely.
Moo!
Oh, Daisy. Mummy says we're going to have to sell you.
Moo!
Oh, Daisy. Mummy says we're going to have to sell you.
Moo!
It has to be done, Daisy.
But will she go to a good home?
Of course she will, Jack.
Moo!
And then, with the money, we can buy lots of food.
And will we be able to buy an alarm clock, Mummy?
An alarm clock, Jack? Why do you want to buy an alarm clock?
So that you aren't always late, Mummy.
You're such a funny boy, Jack. Now then, get ready to take Daisy to market.
Moo!
Mummy, I'm so very hungry. When I sell Daisy, can I buy myself a delicious breakfast?
Of course you can, Jack. You can treat yourself. What will you have to eat?
Everything on the menu. I'm so hungry. 3 sausages. Bacon. Beans. 2 slices of black pudding. And 2 fried eggs.
That sounds delicious. And you deserve it for being a good boy. Now hurry up and take Daisy to the market. And make sure you get the very highest price for her. She's such a good cow.
Moo!
Ronald, you'll have to wade in the middle. And Ken, you'll have to do his xylophone bit. And David, are you drinking Mitchell's coffee?
Might be. Too late now.
Well, children, do you like breakfast as much as Jack does? Well, if your mummy doesn't have time to make you cooked breakfast every day, there's no more nourishing way to start your day than with oaty wheats. Oaty wheats, we all love oaty wheats. The very nourishing breakfast that tastes just like treats. Oh, ask your mummies to buy some, please don't delay. Oaty wheats, the best way to start each day. That's oaty wheats, children. Make sure your mummy buys you oaty wheats because it helps her too. She doesn't have to make your breakfast, as you can soon learn to do it yourself. Just add some oaty wheats into a bowl, add milk and sugar, and there you go. The most nourishing way to start each day.
So remember, Jack, when you get to the market, make sure you get the very best price for Daisy.
Moo!
And make sure she goes to a good home where they'll look after her as well as we do.
Moo!
But most of all, make sure you get a very good price for her.
Moo!
So, Jack set off for the market, leading Daisy with a piece of string. They walked and walked and walked away from the cottage and into the town. At first he was walking quietly on the grass, children. That's why you couldn't hear him. But very soon after he was found, he was walking on the stony road. It was a very, very long way for Jack to walk.
It's a very long way to walk, isn't it, Daisy?
Moo!
After they had walked for about a mile, Jack was very tired. So tired, he didn't think he could walk another step.
I don't think I can walk another step, Daisy.
Moo!
I may have to sit down for a rest, Daisy.
Moo!
But before Jack could sit down, a strange-looking man approached him.
Hello, boy. What's your name?
Jack,
That's a fine-looking cow you've got there, Jack. Where are you taking her?
I'm taking her to the market to sell for the best price I can get.
I see. Well, you're in luck. I'm on the lookout for a cow, and I'll pay you the very highest price that anyone could ever give you for that cow.
Oh, that's amazing. I am a lucky boy to have found you. But just one thing, before I hand Daisy over, my mummy says that I have to make sure you will give her a good home. You will give her a good home, won't you?
Of course I will. She'll be ever so happy in the chewing the grass in the field next to my glue factory.
Glue?
Well, that's good to hear. How much will you pay me for Daisy?
I'm going to give you something worth much more than money.
Something worth much more than money? What on earth can that be?
I'm going to give you 5 beans.
5 beans? I can't go home and tell Mummy that I've swapped Daisy for 5 beans.
Oh, hold on a minute, young fella. These aren't just any old beans. These are magic beans with extra special magical powers.
Oh, well, that's different then. And I am very tired, and the market is such a long way away.
Moo.
What's that was saying, Daisy? You want to go and live with this kind stranger and chew the grass in his field next to his glue factory?
Moo.
Oh, that's a relief. I'm so pleased that you want to. All right then, stranger. You can have Daisy.
So, the strange-looking man handed Jack the 5 magical beans, which he wrapped carefully into his handkerchief before tucking it safely into his pocket. Then he handed the string around Daisy's neck to the stranger and said goodbye to her.
Goodbye, Daisy.
Moo.
And with that, Jack turned round and started the long walk back home. He did wonder what his mummy would say, but also he couldn't wait to tell her about the 5 magic beans he had in his pocket. As he opened the garden gate, Jack's mummy came to the front door of the cottage, delighted to see Jack home again.
There you are, Jack. I've been so excited waiting for you to come back and tell me how much money you've got for Daisy, so we can buy food. How much did you sell her for, Jack?
Well, the thing is, Mummy, I was feeling very tired, as it's such a long way to the market, and I was very, very hungry. So when I met a man who said he'd buy Daisy off me, it seemed a very good idea.
And was it a good idea, Jack? How much did he give you?
Well, he didn't actually give me any actual money.
What? What do you mean, not actual money? What did he give you?
He gave me 5 beans.
5 beans?
5 beans!
Are you seriously telling me you've exchanged a valuable cow for 5 beans?
But Mummy, he said that these aren't ordinary beans. These are 5 magic beans with extra special magical powers.
There's no such thing as magic beans with extra special magical powers, Jack. You've been had, and we'll both be going to bed with no food again. And we won't have any milk because you swapped our cow for 5 beans. Give them to me.
Jack's mummy was extremely angry at Jack's foolishness. She was so angry that she threw the beans out of the window into the garden and sent Jack upstairs to bed. Jack was so upset that he had been so very foolish. But even though he was very upset and so very hungry, he went straight off to sleep. Do you know why, children? Of course you do. It's because he was sleeping on a springy-sprung mattress.
Whoa, you have to wait in the Mitchell again.
Why, hello, Janet. Is that you? I nearly didn't recognize you. You look so young.
Oh, hello, Susan. Yes, Everyone says how young I'm looking these days.
Do tell me, what's your secret?
Oh, it's very simple. I'm making sure that every night I get a really good night's sleep.
Really? Lucky you. How do you do it?
I always sleep on a springy-sprung mattress.
Springy-sprung mattresses, springy-sprung mattresses, they're the best mattresses you can possibly buy when you want a good sleep. Springy-sprung's where to lay, so hurry, rush out now, and buy one today.
That's it. Yes, there's no doubt about it. With a springy-sprung mattress, you're guaranteed a good night's sleep every night. So don't forget, tell your mummy you want a springy-sprung mattress. And remember, children, even if you're a bedwetter, a springy-sprung mattress stays comfy even when moderately damp.
The next morning, when Jack woke up, he noticed something very strange.
That's very strange.
Instead of sunlight pouring in through the window, it was very dark. Jack rushed to the window, looked out, and couldn't believe his eyes.
I can't believe my eyes.
All he could see out of his bedroom window was the thick stalks and leaves of the bean plants that had grown from the magic beans that his mummy had thrown out of the window the day before. Jack rushed to his mummy's bedroom and knocked on the door.
Mummy, quickly! Come and see what's grown in our garden.
Jack's mummy opened the door and followed Jack downstairs to open the back door.
What on earth is it, Jack?
It's the magic beans. Look how high they've grown.
Jack and his mummy stared up to the sky, and all they could see, stretching way up into the clouds, was an enormous beanstalk.
I told you that they were magic beans, Mummy, with extra special magical powers.
And then, without hesitating for a moment, Jack gripped hold of the beanstalk with both hands and fearlessly began to climb upwards. His mummy was very worried.
What are you doing, Jack?
I'm going to climb up this beanstalk and see where it leads to.
Oh, do be careful, Jack. It doesn't look very safe to me.
But Jack was already almost out of earshot as he climbed higher and higher up the giant beanstalk that swayed a little as he climbed. Higher and higher and higher. Jack looked down and could see that the cottage seemed to grow smaller and smaller as he climbed upwards. He wasn't at all frightened as he climbed, and he hardly noticed that he was passing a family of squirrels chattering away in the branches. Even though he hardly noticed the squirrels chattering away, they were definitely there. Jack climbed steadily upwards, higher and higher, passing the wise old owl in his nest.
Twit, twoo, twit, twoo.
Higher and higher Jack climbed, even higher than the clouds. for a big black door in the castle wall. Jack stepped off the beanstalk, pushed open the gate, and started to walk up the path. Taking care not to make a sound, he crept quietly up to the door, which was slightly open. He poked his head round the door, and looking round, saw that he was in the biggest kitchen he had ever seen. Against the wall there was a stove with some soup bubbling away in a huge pan.
Bubble, 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 bubble.
There was a huge crackling fire in the fireplace.
Crackle, 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 crackle.
And on the far side of the room, Jack could see the biggest kitchen table he had ever seen. And seated at the table was the biggest man that Jack had ever seen. He was a giant, and scattered about him on the table, Jack could see piles and piles and piles of gold coins that the giant was counting.
Wait, where's my soup? Oh, God, wait, where's my soup?
Raggedy, dear.
I'm very hungry and I've nearly finished counting my gold.
Well, clear it off the table before I bring your lovely soup over.
I'll go and fetch me money bag to put it all in.
The giant stamped out of the room to fetch his money bag to put his gold into. And Jack saw his opportunity. He quickly dashed through the door, making sure that the giant's wife didn't see him, jumped up onto a chair, and then, using the tablecloth, pulled himself up onto the table and very quietly stuffed his pockets with as many gold coins as he could. In great haste, he jumped back down off the table, onto the chair, and then onto the floor, just in time before the giant returned. Anxiously, Jack scurried behind a large wooden box. Is everything all right, dear? You're not catching a cold, are you?
No, I'm not catching a cold, but there is something wrong.
Something wrong, dear? What is it?
I can smell something in the kitchen.
Do you mean my delicious soup?
No, it's definitely not your delicious soup. It's something else. Sniff, sniff, brr. Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an English man.
What do you mean?
I smell a stranger in the house.
A stranger? But where can a stranger be?
I don't know, but I'm going to find out. Help me look for him, wife.
So the giant and his wife began their search for Jack. But he was too quick for them, and before the giant had even reached the table, Jack had run from behind the box and out of the door without the giant or his wife spotting him. Jack ran as fast as his legs would carry him down the path, through the gate, and was speeding back down the beanstalk so quickly that he hardly noticed the wind, the owl,
Twig, twoo, twig, twoo.
or the branch with the chattering squirrels.
Chatter, chatter, chatter.
As soon as he reached the bottom of the beanstalk, Jack's mummy held him in her arms anxiously. She was very relieved to see him back safely.
Where on earth have you been, Jack? I've been very worried about you.
So, Jack told his mummy all about climbing to the top of the beanstalk, and the giant, and his wife, and the soup, and the money, and then he showed her all the gold coins that he had in his pockets. Jack's mummy was in two minds. She didn't know whether to scold Jack for stealing from the giant, enough money to feed them both for months and months. In the end... Oh, fat gold! I mean... Oh, that's odd, said Jack's mother.
Well, aye.
But look, who's this? Why, it's an old man who has stopped by the cottage and is looking for directions to the village.
Hello, old man. It's that way.
That way.
Yes, the village, of course.
Village?
Yes, go through that door, straight down the road, and at the wishing well, take the road on the left until you reach the windmill.
Windmill? Wish you well.
Yes, that way to the village inn, where they're giving away free drinks.
Free drinks! That way! Free drinks! Free drinks!
So, the stranger headed off to the village, and Jack and his mummy followed to buy some food with the gold coins. They were very happy to be finally able to buy food for themselves, and they lived very happily for several months. Sadly, all too soon, they found they had spent all the giant's gold coins.
Oh dear, Jack. This morning we spent the last of the giant's gold coins. I don't know how we'll be able to buy food.
Don't worry, mummy. I will be very careful.
Well, it could be dangerous if the giant's still looking for you, so be as quick as you can. And try to stay warm. Your voice sounds as though you're catching a cold.
I will, mummy. So, Jack set off climbing. Jack set off climbing the beanstalk again. Higher and higher he climbed, past the branch with the chattering squirrels. Higher and higher, past the wise old owl's nest. Woo! Woo! Jack climbed even higher through the clouds, and he could feel the wind whistling round his ears. As soon as Jack passed through the clouds, he could see it again. The gate that opened up onto the path that led up to the big back door in the castle wall. Jack was extra cautious as he quietly pushed open the gate and crept up to the door, which once again was slightly ajar. Very quietly, he put his head round the big door, and seeing no one there, he crept into the kitchen, where everything was exactly the same as before. There was the soup bubbling away on the stove. And there was the huge crackling fire in the fireplace. Crackle, 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 crackle. The table was set for the giant's dinner, but something was very different. On top of the table, looking proudly around, perched the most beautiful hen that Jack had ever seen. It had long golden tail feathers that cascaded magnificently from its handsome plump body. It had an elegant golden neck supporting its head, on top of which was a dazzlingly golden crest. Jack was amazed to see such a fine-looking hen, and wondered why it was strutting so proudly on the table. Suddenly, he heard footsteps in the hallway, and Jack could feel the floor beneath him shudder at the approach of the giant. when the giant saw the hen on the table, his manner changed. I can't do Scottish giant.
And hello, my beauty. What have you got for me today?
The hen looked at the giant and made a clucking sound.
What? Are you pleased to see me, my beautiful bird? I'm very pleased to see you. Are you ready to lay me an egg? What a wondrous egg you've laid for me, my beautiful hen.
Jack's eyes opened wide in amazement as the giant picked up the egg that the beautiful hen had just laid. It wasn't an ordinary egg. It was a huge, shining, shimmering egg of pure gold.
There you go, my little beauty.
And with that, the giant placed the hen carefully on the floor by his feet and scattered some corn underneath the table for the hen to feast on.
There you have something to eat, and I'll go and place this egg in my special box with all the others, somewhere very safe where it cannot be stolen.
I'm
This
sorry,
is
lady.
ridiculous.
I'm sorry, you
This is
don't
ridiculous.
have to improvise until they return. Shouldn't be a minute. Deirdre, you're on xylophone.
I love golden eggs from golden farms.
Do you love eggs as much as we love eggs?
Rumbled, boiled, poached or fried, you've not lived till you've tried eggs from our farms. Where the hens lay each day, eggs the golden farms way. So hurry, 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 buy some today. Yes, treat the family today with delicious golden eggs from Golden Farm Foods. I know I will. Jack had watched wide-eyed as the hen laid the golden egg and then pecked at the corn that the giant had scattered on the floor underneath the table. Jack was just about to reach out to the hen when he heard more footsteps approaching. Softer ones this time. It was the giant's wife. She had come back in time to give the soup a stir. Jack quickly hid himself behind a big wooden box as the floor started to shudder again as the sound of the giant's footsteps reverberated around the kitchen. And then he stopped and stood absolutely still in the doorway, looking round suspiciously. Is everything all right, dear? You're not catching the cold, are you?
No, I'm not catching a cold, but there is something wrong.
Something wrong, dear? What is it?
I can smell something.
Do you mean my delicious soup?
No, it's not your delicious soup. It's something else. 3, 5, 4, thumb. I smell the blood of an Englishman.
Whatever do you mean?
I smell a stranger in the house.
A stranger? But where can a stranger be?
I don't know, but I'm going to find out. Help me,
wife started to search for Jack, but he was too nimble for them, and before the giant had even reached the table, Jack had dashed out from behind the box and grabbed the beautiful hen, which started to squawk loudly. Jack ran as fast as his legs would carry him, out of the door, down the path, through the gate, and quickly reached the top of the beanstalk. But the giant and his wife could hear the constant squawking of the hen and chased Jack to the top of the beanstalk. Jack jumped onto the beanstalk, clinging on with one hand, whilst holding the hen tightly to his chest, which made it squawk very, very loudly. Squawk! Bloody squawk! Oh dear children, that hen has been very badly brought up. We do apologise for its very naughty language, but it was very frightened as Jack clutched it to his chest as he climbed back down the beanstalk, trying hard not to look down. But when he looked up, he could see the boots of the giant just above his head, noisily clambering down the beanstalk after him, and he could hear the giant breathing heavily with all the effort he was putting into the chase. Hurry up, husband! You've nearly caught him. The giant's wife shouted from the top of the beanstalk as she watched the giant chasing Jack down through its big, thick green leaves. Jack felt very scared. I'm very scared, Bobby! Far, far down below him, Jack could see his mummy in the garden of the cottage waiting for him. And Jack's mummy, straining her eyes to peer upwards through the thick green leaves of the beanstalk, and she could see Jack descending towards her. Jack's mummy could also see the giant chasing after her son. I'll explain when I get down. No, it's a surprise. Well, please hurry up. I'm worried. Jack tried to reassure his mummy. Don't you worry, Mummy. It'll be all right. Jack suddenly had an idea. I've had an idea, Mummy. Here, what is it, Jack? Jack shouted down to his mummy what his idea was. I'm going to drop this beautiful hen down to you. Be ready to catch it. Jack's mummy told Jack that she was ready. I'm ready, Jack! So, Jack leaned out from the beanstalk as far as he could and dropped the beautiful hen. It hurtled down towards his mummy, flapping its wings and squawking on the downward dive through the air. Thwack, thwack, squawk, squawk, thwack. Jack's mummy positioned herself exactly underneath the fast approaching hen and held out the bottom of her apron with both her hands to make a cradle for the handsome hen to land in safety. With a final ear-splitting squawk, squawk, the beautiful bird landed safely in Jack's mummy's apron, where she held it gently but tightly. Squawk! Jack's mummy shouted up to Jack that she had caught the beautiful hen safely. I caught a beautiful hen safely, Jack! Now that Jack had both his hands free, he was able to climb down the beanstalk much more speedily than the giant and was very quickly out of danger of being caught. Within seconds, he was past the wise old owl, woo, woo, and the chattering squirrels on their branch, and was close enough to the ground to be able to jump. Jump, Jack, jump! Jack's mummy shouted, and so Jack jumped all the way down to the ground. Jack had been temporarily winded by his big jump, but he quickly ran to the shed and returned with a very long axe with a very long handle. doing with that axe, Jack? I'm going to chop down the beanstalk. And with that, Jack started to chop away at the beanstalk, his axe making a loud swooshing noise as it flew through the air. Swoosh! Swoosh! Jack gave the beanstalk 5 big blows with the axe. Swoosh! 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 Swoosh!
I did 5.
Swoosh! The beanstalk started to sway backwards and forwards. As it swayed, the giant looked down and could see that he was in great danger of falling to the earth. So he frantically started to climb back up the stalk again to safety. Jack gave another 2 blows with the axe. Whoosh! Swoosh! Faster and faster, higher and higher the giant climbed, past the squirrels and the owl as Jack kept chopping with the axe. Swoosh! Swoosh! Chatter! Chatter! Swoosh! Swoosh! Whoa! Whoa! Higher and higher the giant climbed until Jack and his mummy could no longer see him. Jack gave one final, almighty chop with his axe. Swoosh. And with that, the entire enormous beanstalk came crashing to the ground with a deafening thud. Thud. Jack and his mummy were a bit scared as they looked at the remains of the beanstalk and searched everywhere for the giant, but they could see no sign of him anywhere. They looked up into the clouds, but could see nothing. And then, as they both looked round, a very strange thing started to happen. That's very strange. Here, what on earth is happening? Jack and his mummy stirred as the entire gigantic beanstalk started to shrivel up before their very eyes and suddenly turned into a great big puff of dense white smoke. Puff! And when the smoke cleared, to their amazement, Jack and his mummy could see that the beanstalk had disappeared entirely, and quietly chewing away on the grass on their front lawn was Daisy.
Moo!
And there, pecking away at the grass beside Daisy, was the beautiful hen, looking very happy in her new home.
Squawk, 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 squawk.
Oh, look, Mummy.
What is it, Jack?
Why, there on the grass next to our beautiful hen.
Plop.
Oh my, our beautiful hen has laid an egg.
Yes, but look, Mummy. It's not an ordinary egg. It's an enormous gleaming golden egg that we can sell. We are never going to be short of food again. We are going to live happily for the rest of our lives.
And so they did. And that was the story of Jack and the Beanstalk, children. Did you enjoy it? I know I did. But please don't forget, axes can be very sharp, and you should only play with them if an adult is nearby. That's all for today. Tomorrow, at the same time, there will be another edition of Children's Story Time. And do you know what the story is going to be tomorrow, children? Sadly, you won't be hearing my voice again, because I'm resigning right now. So, tomorrow, if you tune in, you'll be able to hear the story of Goldilocks and the Too best. Goodbye, children. What